Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's TheXploder, and I'm back with another video from Dragonball The Breakers. I've been in the beta, and you may have seen my first impressions video, and if you haven't, it's now live on YouTube for you to check out, which I highly recommend. But in this video specifically, we will start our discussion on the raiders themselves, beginning with my personal favourite, Cell. I've always been a huge fan of Cell in both the anime and the manga, so finally getting my hands on Cell for this beta test was huge. And this is bearing in mind, before we get into the video proper, I was only able to play as Cell in this beta test because I didn't have access to the prior one where you only had Cell. In this test, we had both Cell and Frieza. Boo was not readily available yet, but as soon as I get my chance to play with Boo, you better be certain I want to talk about him as well. Anyway, faff over, let's get into what I have to say about playing as Cell. Now, one thing to bear in mind when you play as Cell, he is mostly melee orientated, so if you are going to go into this thinking you can just blast the living crap out of people, you have abilities that will allow you to do that, but not straight away. If anything, if you want to start playing keep away with ranged attacks, I'd highly recommend waiting until you get into second form Cell, rather than doing it very early on in, let's say, first form, or even in perfect Cell form. You are way better off staying close to opponents, meleeing them to hell and back, and slapping out your abilities while you can. And speaking of being melee, you will have to be at melee range in order to finish off survivors. Finishing off survivors as well as finishing off civilians that are scattered around the place is going to be your main way of leveling up. And as soon as you can get to first form, the better. Saying that, however, do not be scared playing as Cell when you're in larvae form. You may look at yourself and you may think, oh no, I'm a larvae. I can't even shoot ki blasts. I can't even do sick combos. What am I supposed to do? Well, you can run really, really fast. So use that to your advantage. Also, if you do find an enemy player, do not be afraid to go toe-to-toe against them very early on, because larvae form Cell is actually really competent. If you consistently jump at survivors again and again and again, it keeps them in this juggle loop of being unable to do anything, and by the time they run out of HP and fall, you can take advantage of that, get some health off of them, and boom, you're straight into first form. And speaking of which, first form itself, it's got a beautiful balance between its melee combat as well as its ranged abilities. A general all-round brilliant skill set for a raider quite early on in the game. You want to get to first form as soon as you can, because here, from first form going forward, just like with Frieza as well, it's going to take a while for you to do your levels. But it especially doesn't feel as bad as Cell as it is with Frieza, and I'll get to that in Frieza's video, not here. Because as Cell, as you can imagine from the anime and the manga, the more you absorb the energy of the people you fight, the faster you're going to be leveling up. And I don't know, it just generally felt I was leveling up faster than Cell than I was with Frieza whenever I was just fighting other people. Of course, you fight enough people, you do level up and you turn into second form Cell. A little bit derpy, and he always has looked a little bit derpy. But you know what? I think second form Cell is the beastliest form you can play as with Cell. His range potential, as well as his melee potential, just skyrocket in comparison to first form. You have a lot of really good abilities just to be able to keep people away, and if they do go into melee range, guess what? You're going to be bodying the living daylights out of them. Second form just feels so nice to play with. And then we get into perfect form Cell, and you may think, well, perfect form's supposed to be the, well, perfect form of Cell. Surely that feels better than second form. Not as much as you may think. It's a little bit weird, but I kind of prefer second form Cell to final form Cell. Perfect form is nice. You've got a lot of damage output, you have a lot of survivability, you've got some great abilities again, and that's not a bad thing. But for its ability skill set, second form definitely feels better than perfect form, which I think is a little bit weird. You would think that as soon as you go into your final form, that is the form you are going to feel the most confident in, especially when you're just bodying other survivors. it just didn't do that to me. It was very weird. I guess the best way to pinpoint it is just that Cell's ability set genuinely felt better in second form. If you carried across the second form skill set and brought it into perfect form, I would probably be okay. But I don't know, perfect form was missing something to make it, well, perfect. Not to say it's bad though. Final form, fantastic regardless. Now, after going over all the forms briefly, one thing that you will definitely be keeping in mind when playing as Cell is that he is all about key focus. So how Cell detects other civilians and other survivors is by using key concentration, where he puts the fingers up against his forehead, the screen goes a little bit purple, and you can see the key auras of the survivors and civilians around you. It doesn't have the most godly range known to mankind. It's pretty good, but it's not like you can just fly all the way up as high as you can go, activate it, and see everyone everywhere. You've got to really focus on where you want to activate key focus in order to find all the other people that you want to fight to level up as soon as you can. Which is why if you do decide to play as Cell in Breakers when it does come out, when you level up outside of the games and you get skill points to level up your skills, you definitely want to level up key focusing as soon as you possibly can. Get this leveled up so that the cooldown comes all the way down, and before you know it, you're going to be detecting people going out there, bodying, and by the time you finish the body, oh look, I can focus again, have a look at where the next person is, rinse and repeat, and it's going to make your playtime with Cell way better. And I mean way, way better. And I guess when it comes to problems that I had with Cell, don't have a lot of problems with both Cell and Frieza in fairness. They genuinely felt really great. I think the only problem I had with Cell for the most part is when Cell is in second form. His ranged ability, where you're just flying around and you hit the regular attack button, instead of it just being a regular key blast or something like that, it's a Kamehameha. It's a very quick, sudden Kamehameha. And you would think it's strong, powerful, and does the job, right? When it hits, yes. But the problem that I'm starting to see with these beam style of blasts, like the Kamehameha, the Gallic Gun, even to an extent the Dodon Ray from TN and them ones, they just don't seem to be very accurate. Out of all the skills that I've seen and how accurate that they are, it definitely seems as if Special Beam Cannon might be one of the most accurate ones, because it seems to snap focus and quickly come out of the character you're using it on and just immediately pinpoint the target and make them go boom. But there's something about this specific Kamehameha, because it's counted as a regular attack, that doesn't seem to have the oomph and doesn't seem to have the accuracy that I would want it to have. Yet again, that could be a perfectly feasible design decision, because you can't have second form be, well, perfect. That's perfect Cell's job. So, sure, he's got a detriment somewhere, it's in his ranged combat, and quite frankly, like I said at the beginning of the video, Cell is melee focused. So why not? You give him a little bit of a weaker key blast option as your regular ranged attack, so that you can focus on your main melee skills. Makes sense to me. But overall, love Cell, love how he plays, love how he looks, and of course, I can't wait to go in there and practice my Devil Artemis impressions, and just coming out like, oh shit, he's packing heat! But now I want to know, what did you think about Cell? Do you think he plays well? Do you have your own problems with him? Do you like, dislike? Let me know down in the comments below with your thoughts, or hit me up on any of my social media in the description. And whilst you're down there, why don't you do the thing and click that subscribe button and even hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of future videos. And if you are enjoying stuff here, you may see that some of the clips that I have feature my webcam, and that was because I did stream the game over on Twitch. And you can check me out over on my Twitch channel on the regular for some more explosive action. With all that being said, peeps, I hope you did enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll hopefully see you next time for some more action. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay explosive. And I'll be seeing you guys next time.